I call him Mr. Hamill.
All right, at 6:45, we'll call the meeting to order. Chris, do you mind leading us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This is our time for public comments. Now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and to speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns to the patrons of the Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning the district personnel will not be discussed. Do we have anybody that wants to speak? Okay, then can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Rochelle, seconded by Robin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And can we get a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda items.
Moved by Steve, seconded by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I think the only thing we have on our schedule today is Corinne Duncan's going to give us an update on our budget.
Dale, Superintendent Manager and Board of Trustees. You see in front of you the rec board proposed preliminary budgets for the year 21-22. We are expecting to end our cash reserve at the end of this year at 1.7 million. Estimated revenues is going to come in at 816,000, which is about 17.5% less than last year due to our assessed valuation going down. And then our appropriations, as you'll see in front of you, is 763,000, broken down between the athletic trainer, summer weight room trainer, the aquatic center, and then the activities discretionary and 3 additional funds for this year, which is the high school pit covers, the high school shed sign wraps for the covers, and the high school tumbling track. And then as far as recreation grants, we have a carryover grant for the Challenger baseball that didn't get used last year. And then the rest of them are the same from last year, the City of Green River swim lessons, the summer day camp, gymnastic programs, and the contingency. And then we have an additional soccer goals for Monroe. So with that, the cash reserves for the Lincoln turf field will be sitting at 595,000. The high school turf field will be sitting at 345,000. The 1-year aquatic center is at 475,000. And then we have an undesignated cash reserve of 363,000. So our proposed ending cash reserve next year will be 1,778,000. Do you have any questions? Nothing?
No
Perfect.
questions.
Okay, so we just needed an approval for the preliminary budget for the rec board.
Can I get a motion to approve the budget or the preliminary budget?
I'll second that.
Moved by Rochelle, seconded by Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, I think our meeting can be adjourned.
On to the next one.
Thank you.
Test 1, 2, 3. 7 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order. And because she's going to have to start doing this on a day-to-day basis, Chantel, can you lead us in the pledge, please?
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. First item on our agenda is public comments. Now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized, speak on items both on the agenda and of general concern to the patrons of the Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual, 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Is there anybody like to speak to the board tonight? Leah.
I just want to have Chris, Jason, Alan, JR, and Craig stand up for a minute. I had a appreciation banquet for my staff, and these people came and served all of my staff. They wore their hairnets and their aprons.
Yeah.
He didn't need hers.
Black now.
But Alan has mad skills with the dish room. So when I need a dishwasher, I know who to call. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys very much for helping.
All right. Anybody else like to speak to the board? Yes, sir. Come forward and identify yourself.
My name is Charles Hafner. I'm just a parent of a couple kids that attend the schools here in Green River. First and foremost, I'd like to say that the Wyoming mask mandate has expired. Per the Sanford study, masks are not effective against viruses, but rather harmful, causing low oxygen, high CO2, which snowballs into numerous other problems that affect health negatively. Masks become breeding ground for pathogens, which can cause the spread of germs rather than preventing them. Masks cause general discomfort and skin irritations. And with that, I'd like to get into the other stuff. Public schools have the legal classification as a public accommodation according to federal law, Title III, Regulation CFR 36.104. Sweetwater County School District Number 2 serves the public and therefore must abide by all state and federal laws. No policy supersedes the law. No governor's order, health order, emergency, or pandemic supersedes our constitutionally protected rights. Sweetwater County School District Number 2 is a public school system open to the public, and the parents and the children are the public. Sweetwater County School District Number 2 cannot legally deny my children public education for not wearing masks. Federal Law 28 CFR 36.202 prohibits denial of participation. You may not exclude them from the same and equal treatment and right to public education as others. Denying them or requiring them to be limited to home or receive education is a violation of Title II, 3, and 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Which basically states that my children shall not be denied participation and equal access as everyone else with or without a disability or medical condition. The law prohibits serving them separately or differently or unlawfully discriminating. Sweetwater County School District Number 2 can and will be held liable in a court of law. 21 U.S. Code 360 BBB-3. No emergency authorized medical product can be mandated. E1A-II3 states that we have the option to accept or refuse administration of the product. This includes masks, vaccines, PCR tests. I'm mostly talking about the masks tonight. Also, the Americans with Disabilities Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of a disability or medical condition. Title III states public accommodations must comply with the basic non-discrimination requirements that prohibit exclusion, segregation, and unequal treatment. HIPAA privacy laws state that they're there to protect the privacy of health information, and that we're not legally obligated to disclose our children's disabilities or medical conditions. My children are exempt from any ordinance or mandate requiring mask usage in public. Wearing mask poses a health risk to them. Under the ADA, HIPAA, the First and Fourth Amendment, they are not required to disclose their medical conditions to you. It is a violation to require me to disclose their health information to you. The penalties are steep, including a fine up to $75,000 for the first violation and $150,000 for any subsequent violation. This is America, one nation under God, free and sovereign. This is not communist China. I'd like to remind the elected officials that they are our public servants who, if I'm not mistaken, took an oath. I'm asking all the elected officials here in attendance to represent the people who elected you by taking a stand and speaking out against this medical tyranny that our community has dealt with for far too long. If you choose to stay silent and not stand up for the rights of our kids to breathe fresh air, then we, the people, will elect new leaders that will, even if it means me, myself, running against you in future elections. If enough of us band together, we can end this tyranny in a short amount of time, like has already been happening in several states across the country. I'd like to just add one more thing to that we're all in this room. There's just a fraction of us with masks on. The mask mandate ended a long time ago in the state of Wyoming, and mandates aren't laws. And I don't know why we're still making our kids wear masks. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak to the board? Mr. Imoni, welcome.
Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. I just was coming up here. This was kind of pre-planned, but to thank everybody for the school year, actually. So good job to food service. I appreciate maintenance, custodians, all our staff, all our students. We've been in school 100% face-to-face this entire year. So I just wanted to thank everybody for help making that happen. So that was it.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Anybody else like to speak to the board? Seeing none other, we'll move on. First item, we're going to move 2.08 to 2.02, and that is recognition of Green River High School State Music and Choir recipients. We have Quinn Kalinsky and Jared Gantz joining us. Jared, welcome. Bring them on in.
Good evening, Superintendent Behringer, Chairman Core, and members of the board. We'd like to first thank you for having us here and giving us an opportunity to recognize these students. There are a lot of people out in that lobby and a lot of people to recognize, so I'm going to make this as quick as I can. So the Spring Choral Festival is the Wyoming High School Activities Association culminating event for performing arts. And we took 4 choirs, 3 of which were awarded superior ratings, which is the highest possible rating that you can achieve. Here representing each of those choirs, Chatney Terrell is representing tritones. And all 4, Ellie Kettering, Tristan and Ty Higby are representing Pack and Harmony and the GRHS Chorale. The chorale scored just lost 2 points out of total possible, and Pack and Harmony was only deducted 1 point out of the total score. So we're very happy with 3 superior ratings.
Quinn, welcome.
Thank you. To reiterate what Jake began said, thank you for allowing us to be here and honoring these students. Over here, we have 3 students from my full symphonic band. There's many more. There's about 47 more of them. There's just no possible way to bring them all here tonight, sadly. But similar to what Jacob said, we went to the Festival for Bands and they walked away with a superior rating of only missing 2 points off of their full potential for the score. So they're being represented by Haley Gavin, Timothy Golightly, and Lindsay Peterson. So, yeah.
All right, thank you and congratulations. Great job. And we look forward to hearing you guys at graduation on Monday. Again, thank you.
Yours has finally got this figured out after 8 months.
I know.
Next item is recognition of the FFA state accomplishments. We welcome our director, Liz Tolman. Liz, welcome. By the way, we need you at 4:30 on Saturday.
Got it.
I was
got
gonna call
6
you.
Kids ready to rumble.
Okay, good.
I saved you a phone call. All right, Chairman Core, members of the board, Superintendent Behringer, thank you again for letting us flood your boardroom with a couple of blue jackets tonight. We would like to honor, like we've said before, the accomplishments that our students had at their state convention. It might not be a known fact, but these students compete in contests normally all throughout the year. And those contests have to do with different careers related in agriculture. So they basically become the expert in these fields, and then they're tested on their knowledge and skills on how well they do that. So tonight we are here to kind of honor them and celebrate the achievements that they had at those contests. Often you guys hear from a lot of the coaches and activity sponsors brag about their students, and I could go on and on because I'm very proud of these kids and I hope they know that. But I wanted to kind of switch it up a bit and have 3 of our FFA chapter officers share our achievements with you instead of me just talking the whole time. So we have Delaney Gardea, our chapter president, Alexa Losey, sorry, our chapter secretary, and then Caleb Moss, our chapter reporter. And they will just share with you some amazing accomplishments our chapter had this year.
This year, our chapter had 29 members compete in 17 career development events at our state convention throughout March and April. The majority of our teams placed in the top 1/4 of their contests. As we share these results with you, please keep in mind that there are 52 other FFA chapters around the state, and we compete against all classes 1A through 4A. Our chapter was also recognized as a 3-star gold emblem chapter, which is the highest a chapter can receive. Ava Kelhofer and Emily Myers also received a gold emblem in their science fair project and will be moving on to the national picking from their science fair project, Potting Soil, Are You Getting What You Paid For?
Our Green Hand Quiz Bowl team placed 4th. Delaney Gardea placed 9th for employment skills. Tristan Draws placed 4th in extemporaneous. Wow. Sorry about that. That is not my thing. Skills. And our middle school horse judging team placed second. And then Lillian Allison was the height individual in the middle school horse judging. Our ag sales team placed 9th, and Alexa Losey was 7th high for individual sales in the sales competition.
Our middle school livestock team placed 7th. Our poultry evaluation teams placed 9th overall. Our environmental and natural resources team placed 17th. And our senior livestock judging team placed 20th overall. Our veterinary science team placed 11th overall and placed 9th in the team activity. And our ag mechanics team placed 11th. And our meats evaluation team placed 14th. We also had 4 students receive their Wyoming FFA state degrees. Only 10% of the Wyoming FFA memberships received this distinguished award. Those members were Delaney Gardea, Cami Lloyd, myself, and Jaden Toman. We want to thank you all again for supporting our FFA chapter, and we're excited to see where things go.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Liz.
Yes, these kids work hard, and I think sometimes it's not quite recognized that the kids work just as hard as some sports teams do. They go to practice, they are there late at night, and they have a lot of dedication into this. So I think it's cool to recognize them. So thank you.
Love the
very
Blue
much.
Jackets. Love them. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, we're out of here.
So much for Beardsley's idea.
I
of
know.
making this more efficient.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he lost
Uh-huh.
control.
Too many.
Best kids in school, you can't even get them out the right door.
Okay, next on our agenda is the recognition of SkillsUsa state winners. Mr. Tim Cassidy. Hope he was coached up about keeping it short. I've heard many of his speeches over the years.
Oh, me too. Sure, it's good.
Oh, Josh. Mr. Lewis, how are you tonight? Welcome.
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good.
Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees, thanks for inviting our SkillsUsa squad up here, our placers from our competition last month. I'll first talk about our first aid and CPR placers. Behind me, I have Dominic Kunkel and AJ Peterson. Dom's been in the sports med program for 2 years. AJ's been in here for 3 years. Both completed their emergency medical responder certification this year, which is something we've added just recently. When I asked those two if they wanted to participate in SkillsUsa, both of them replied only if the other one was doing it. So they're bound at the hip. They do whatever the other person does. They took one of my CPR dummies, adopted them as their child, and named him Thomas. Charles. And they worked on him the whole second semester, just practicing, getting ready for this competition. So the competition itself is a bit nerve-wracking. You walk in by yourself. There's EMTs, firefighters there. They don't really assist you. They give you a scenario and you're supposed to show them what you know, and you're not really getting coached. So it's kind of nerve-wracking. Because of their hard work, Dom was able to place second in the competition and AJ took first in the competition. So he's our second state champion at CPR first aid, but he's going to be the first to actually be able to compete in the national competition next month. So we're excited for that. Dom's also going to be able to help. He gets to be a live victim that AJ gets to work on. So he's going to take Charles's place. We'll have a ceremony for that. But anyway, I'm very proud of these two young men, their attitude, their preparation. They're excellent students and they're always willing to go the extra mile to help out fellow students around them. So they deserve some recognition for that.
All right, congratulations. Okay, Tim, you were coached up on keeping this short, right?
Yes, I will.
All right. Welcome.
I can do that. Thanks for inviting us and letting us celebrate our students. I'd like to introduce to you Cole Murray and Austin Fox. They are part of our cabinet making at Skills. Cole is the first time state champion that we've ever had. Cole went and brought home the state championship, the gold medal in cabinet making. Austin placed third place and brought home the bronze medal. They competed against other students from across the state of Wyoming in cabinet making. They had to build a cabinet in an 8-hour period. It wasn't a 9-month period like we're used to. It was an 8-hour period, and they did it flawlessly. They did a great job. They had to build a cabinet with drawer and doors, which is a hard thing. It also using the machines, and they left you very little room for error. They provided the material and you had to complete it with very little mistakes, and they did a great job. It's a high intensity environment where a lot of kids are working in the same area. They perform well, showed a high degree of craftsmanship on their projects, just like they do at school. I was very proud of them. Both of these young men are outstanding woodworkers. They excel in planning, pricing, designing, and building projects. They have developed skills that will help them work with their minds in their hands and serve them throughout their lives and careers, no matter what area they choose. They will be successful. More importantly, they're outstanding role models for our students at our high school. When they go to work, they walk into class and they go to work. There's very little visiting. They're precise in what they do, and they're a great example to other kids at our school. I would like to thank the school board and our principals for providing an opportunity for these students to compete in SkillsUsa. It's a great organization. I never realized it until I started going. It provides them a lot of opportunities. All our departments at our high school work with the kids in the same kind of areas, and they help them provide them with the 7 traits of work ethic. And then that 7 traits of work ethic is what these 2 young men have. They're not only great role models, but better people. And I thought they did a great job. Had a lot of comments by them, by other sponsors and supervisors come up and said how impressed they were with them. And I thought they did a great job. It is a very difficult thing to do that in an 8-hour period. And I thought they did a great job. And Cole and Austin are great examples of many kids that we have at our high school that are good at that. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations. Congratulations, guys. Good job. Okay, next up is our recognition of Green River High School cheerleaders. They recently went to a national event. I think they took 6th. Is that right? Yeah, 6th. So we'll have Allison Luna, the coach, come in here. Allison, welcome.
Okay, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Allison Luna. I'm the head coach of the Green River High School cheer team. My assistant coach, Michaela Smart, and I had the honor of coaching these 22 individuals and taking the first team in the history of Wyoming to the UCA National High School Cheerleading Championships in Orlando, Florida last month. These kids worked very hard. They earned a bid by qualifying for regionals to be able to go to the national competition. On top of the numerous hours that they dedicated to practices and other sports, they also fundraised all of the funds that were needed to go to this competition in a short 8 weeks, which is pretty crazy in a pandemic. Because of how big this accomplishment is, I'm going to make sure that we name each of the 22 individuals on our team. We took 6th place in our medium co-ed varsity and 5th place in the medium varsity co-ed game day. Freshmen, Alyssa Drinkle and Audrey Ferrer. Sophomores, I have Audrey Kunkel, Sierra Silva, Damian Holmes, Christina Serrano, and Presley Weaver. Juniors, Abby Cook, Addie Beardsley, Branson Barton, Brooks Riley, Derek Meeks, Ellie Kettering, Haley Martinez, and Luis Batista. And lastly, seniors, Angie McKinnon, Andrew Santoff, Sydney Sterlingson, Camille Fowler, Lauren Jensen, Oren Watts Pavey, and Trenton Collar. We are very proud of what we did with nationals, and this team is historic, and we're just very, very proud of what they did. So,
all right, congratulations. Thank you. Good job. Go.
Go!
to that, yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. And to add to that, we were actually the only team in the medium co-ed varsity that had no deductions, meaning we had no falls, we had no bobbles, we had no hiccups, basically. So that in itself was probably the biggest accomplishment a small little town from Green River, Wyoming could have ever accomplished.
That is awesome. Wow.
All right, thank you for coming and I
Thank
appreciate it. Good
you.
job.
Good job.
Okay, up next is recognition of Exhibition Academy State Art Fair students. Michelle, welcome.
Hello, everybody. So my students are not showing up. Who knows why? They're high school students. That's what we're going with. Anyway, I wanted to give you a little background on our program because we're kind of new. For a couple years, Mr. Stice or Miss Mosley would come over to EA, and then they had another teacher for a year who would kind of do a class here and there for the students. But I have been half-time at EA for the last 3 years. And over that time, we took a room that used to be a nursery and a few sparse art supplies and turned it into an art program. With the help of a very understanding teacher and art principal and a few understanding art teachers, Shane Stice has been super helpful. Scott Bloom taught me how to throw pottery on the wheel so that I could then teach my students. Super helpful. Anyway, with those people, we managed to get supplies. We dug some pottery wheels out of Lincoln, some really old ones. But we put together a program and our students have done really well with it. This last year, we got a kiln, which was pretty fantastic. It came in over the summer. It's been so great not to have to take our pottery down to Lincoln and fire it. Our kids get their pottery in a quick, timely manner, which is super helpful as well. Then just recently, we got 2 brand new pottery wheels, which you have no idea how amazing that is. I was using car parts to fix the old ones, so we're really thrilled with them. And then recently, we just had a pottery sale where we sold student donations and a lot of my practice wear to the public, and we made over $400 for our pottery program as well, so that we could buy an extruder and a couple big pieces of pottery that don't always, or pottery tools that don't always fit in our budget. But this year we took 3 students to the art symposium. In the past, we have taken 4. We wanted to take students in 2020, but COVID sucks. 3 students, Jada Gundas, Eris Colzada, Lawrence Leahy. We took 10 pieces of artwork. We brought home 7 ribbons. Jada Gundas brought home 5 for work in sculpture, photography, and 2D drawing. Lawrence Leahy brought home 2 ribbons for his pen and ink work. Our little art program is really growing, and we would like to thank the board and superintendent for helping fund our little art program. It's really helped our students find success out in the world and maybe a lifelong vocation for a few of them here or there. So we just, once again, like to thank you. That's about it.
All right, thank you. And tell those kids congrats. Appreciate it, Michelle. Next up is recognition of the Green River High School State Art Fair students and Mr. Shane Stice. Shane, welcome back.
Are you guys tired of being talked at yet?
Nope, we're good.
Okay, perfect.
This is good stuff.
Best part of the meeting.
Okay, I've got a few things I want to say here. First, I should probably do the formal introduction thing. Superintendent Berenger and Board of Trustees. I'm here today to talk about how my kids did at State Art and our Visiting Artist program. But I thought before I did that, there's some other stuff I want to talk about. We've all had challenges this year. I know I've had my fair share. My mom knows too. But what it's done is really cemented my beliefs regarding art. A lot of people see it as a hobby or pastime. For me and my students, we discovered that it's a way to process the world around us, a way to get at emotions, get at thoughts and struggles that there's no other way to do. I'm not alone in this. My students are right alongside with me. Making art this year, being back in the classroom, gave us a way to regain a sense of normalcy. Essentially what they did, my students, they made work that was really personal. I had to do that too, to help me get through with, a lot of things. But because they did this, they received a lot of honors at State Art that are kind of unique, and I'm really, really proud of. So I'm going to rattle off some stats for you now. That's a little easier to talk about. So this year we took 116 pieces to State Art. They wanted us to pare our show down a little bit, so we did. And we really liked this smaller grouping that we took, and I think we're going to keep doing that. So of the 116 we took, we got 56 ribbons. We should only have got ribbons on a quarter of them. We got ribbons on half of them, so we doubled the state average. Then the Congressional Special Awards they hand out, they recognize 20 2D works and 20 3D works. We received 7 3D awards and 1 2D award. So of the 40, we got 8 of those, which just blew me away. Lauren Jensen standing there, wave Lauren to the crowd. She received 3 of those. To my knowledge, and I would have to go back and look things up, but I am almost positive that we've never had a student receive 3 of those, 3 congressional awards, and she did. That's outstanding. Those are selected by a special group of artists and professors from around the state. They go through the floor and select what they deem is the work that's the most powerful, most, I don't know, maybe most able to say something in the group. Others that received the Congressional Award, Amaya Sparts was our 2D Congressional Award winner. Lily Munoz won 1. Mia Rosas won 2. And Sarah Wilson won 1 as well. Another special honor that we received this year, Olivia Nelson. Wave to the crowd, Olivia. She received a First Lady Award. And what that is, the First Lady of Wyoming comes to the show every year and selects a group of pieces to display in the governor's mansion. And our new First Lady set a kind of a new tradition. She tries to get work from each county so that it's represented equally throughout the state. I thought it was a cool idea. And Olivia had one of her little bluebird paintings selected for that. So it's really cool. Oh, my goodness. I got a couple other people up here we got to talk about. I have Sam De La Riva, and she received ribbons on almost everything she took to State Art. Oh my gosh, Ashley Warner, I'm on the spot here. I'm freaking out. She took a whole entire deck of cards and repainted each of the suits to be the earth elements. And when she told me what she was going to do, I said, "You're not going to finish it. There's no way." Like that was the voice in the back of my head. And she totally did it. And they're little, super realistic paintings about that big, just incredibly detailed, wonderful. And then I also have Jessica Clark. Wow, look at me. She, over her high school career, received, I think, 34 lettering points. 36. I've been corrected. I've only had one other student I had one other student that got 36 one other time, Tori Walsh, way back in the day. And so she got that by a lot of different things. But anyways, let me just finish up here real quick. A lot of this success is not, I'm not going to claim this. The money that BOCES gives me that allows me to bring in the visiting artists, that has been the major catalyst to drive this change and to let these students see that art can be a career. You can try different things, and these artists I bring in have a skill set so much more broad than mine that they're able to give these kids techniques that I don't know how. And so what we've seen when we take our work to State Art is it's functional work. It's not big, huge, flashy stuff. It's functional stuff that is super well crafted and meant to be used. And then our 2D work is stuff that's connected to these kids. It's not just a technique, it's their little heart and souls in there. So I'm just so proud. Thanks for letting me brag about these guys.
All right, Shane, thank you. And congratulations. Okay, next is recognition of the cast of Cinderella. And Brad, what are you? Are you the princess or are you
Director,
the
just
a regular old?
I'm the guy
just
that
a regular
tells
old
people where
teacher?
to go.
Yeah, welcome, Brad. Thanks for coming.
Hey. Thanks again for having us here. I appreciate it. For those of you that were able to come to the show, thank you. Those of you that were able to watch on our live streaming, that was wonderful. For those of you who missed it, it was only a 2-hour show. JR has the video, so we're going to go ahead and watch that now. But really, we just want to say what a wonderful opportunity it was. When we started this school year, we weren't even sure what we were going to be able to do when it came to productions of theater. And most important was the support of the board, the decisions that were made by the superintendent, by our individual leadership at the high school that made it possible for us to have a successful theater season this year. And the quality as well as the quantity of work that we do at Green River High School has been noticed around the state. Oftentimes, most theater departments do 2 shows a year. We have one more final show this Thursday, which will be our 11th production of this school year. Cinderella being our 10th and was our largest main stage show with the amount of students, the amount of involvement that was done. And I really want to take a minute to, I know we recognize our students. We do have Chatney Terrell. I said that last name right. And she was, of course, our Cinderella for one of our casts. We did a double cast for the show simply for making it possible to be able to have a smaller amount of students on stage at the same time to keep social distancing and make the show possible. But our directors, that's really where the success of this show came from, is from the directing team that I get to work with. We have Jessica Hodges here, who is our music director. Make sure all the kids are in the orchestra, especially. One of the facts that we get to have a orchestra pit. That's not very common in high schools here in Wyoming, and we're fortunate that we have that. That is a special draw for us, and we love it. And then also my assistant director, couldn't do really what we do at all without her. So Julie, thank you for everything you do. And if you didn't have a chance to see the show, you really missed out on a special magical moment in seeing what she created with the dress that the fairy godmother changes, and it happens right there on stage in the moment. It's absolutely incredible. So just the talent that I am fortunate to work with is truly a blessing to me. And in closing, just want to say the work that was put in. Some of the days, we're there at 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. And I mean, we're wearing these things, 16 hours a day. And I just want to say, if for the decisions with the board that, y'all get a little political here. I'm going to say it. If it means that it's an opportunity that we get kids on stage, that they have an opportunity to perform, that it's getting them scholarships to go to the next level and continue doing what they love, and it allows us to create a safe space where students know they're seen, they're heard, and they're loved, and by God, that's what I'm going to do.
All right, thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. Wow, what a show tonight.
Lots of recognition.
Stuff. All right, I need a motion to approve our agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Rochelle, second by Ashley. I need a motion to amend the agenda to take 10.02 off of the agenda. Need that amendment motion, please? Moved by David, second by Brenda. All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All those in favor of approving the agenda as amended?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is approval of consent agenda. Is there anything on here that you would like to take off and discuss? I would make just a note without needing to discuss that our enrollment in the district from May 1 to May 1, according to the stats in the book, down 158 kids. The BOCES grants, total dollars that we're asking for with 11 different grants is $326,000. Awesome job. And I had just one question, if I could, without taking it off the agenda. The 15,488 students for Daggett County agreement, that is reimbursed through the state. We count that as an enrollment and we get reimbursed for that. And so that's that. Just a thought. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, consider ratification of interest-based negotiation agreement. Lisa, would you like to speak to us? Welcome.
Good evening, Superintendent Behringer and Chairman Core and board members. First, I'd like to say thank you for the time you spent, not only just at that time, but I know in preparing for negotiations. And also thank you for supporting us throughout the year and being able to, cross my fingers, get through 100% of the school year with kids in and active and doing our jobs. That's a fun thing to be able to do. So with that, our membership voted on the agreement. There's 178 members, 152 voted. And it was, of the 152, it was 100% for the vote. So,
nice. Okay, great. Good to hear. Just for transparency purposes, I need to mention that we raised the base $335. We gave a vertical step that was granted the employees and a horizontal movement as well. Overall, it's a 1.9% salary increase. I did see the cost of living numbers for the state of Wyoming in the first quarter, and it's right at 2%. So were able to do that. We raised the base for support staff by 10 cents per hour and one step, which is 20 cents per hour. That's a 1.9% salary increase for our support staff. And by raising the base, all the activity schedule, people that work with coaching and all the other things they do, that also increased with that as well. But that in a nutshell is what we were able to put together. I too want to thank the board for getting together. Chris and Corinne, thank you very much for helping. And also thanks to the GREA. I need a motion to ratify that, please.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Robin, second by Brenda. Anybody want to say anything? We good?
Great process.
Yep. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next is our goals. We are got to reschedule our meet and greet. Craig, have we done that?
We have not. The timeline is not
Pretty
gonna-
tight. Let's do it in the fall.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest.
And try to do it early if we can, like in September.
No snow day.
On a
No snow day and all that.
August,
Yeah.
July.
yeah, that'd probably be better.
Yeah. Maybe we can have it at the Anderson Ranch and ride horses. Yeah, and I did that one time. I'm not doing that again. Also, a reminder of the retirement social, which is right here tomorrow from 4 to 6. If you can make a cameo, that would be great. We did our ribbon cutting ceremony this afternoon at 5:30 at the new Edgewater Park. Beautiful park. If you haven't been down there, check that out. It's awesome. That was a great collaboration between the city and the school district. Next is personnel. Consider approval of the certified resignations request. Miss Dr. Foos, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Core, Trustees, Superintendent Behringer. We have two resignations for your consideration tonight. Brooke Watts, PE teacher, Green River High School, and Andrew Winters, Rural School Elementary teacher, Tolman Elementary School. Thank you for your consideration.
Need a motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Robin, second by Ashley to approve the resignations of Brooke Watts and Andrew Winters. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, consider approval of the 21-22 new certified contracts. Mr. Behringer.
Chairman Cord, board members, we have 8 new staff for you to consider on our hiring. And I'd like to thank our principals and other administrators that worked through this process to come up with these people, and they are all good fits for our community and school.
All right. We need a motion to approve the contracts. I'll just say their names. Catherine Quinton, Emily Smith, Andrew Gramlich, Janelle Huber, Chantel Jakeway, Mindy Mays, Tara Adams, and Paige Vincent.
So moved.
Moved by Rochelle. Second by David. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Welcome to Green River School District. Next item, curriculum and instruction. Here, presentation on the BOCES grant. Artist is Shane back. Wonder if he knew he was on there. Do you know he was on there?
At one point.
Just like his mom, forgot. He did actually talk about it. So
He did talk.
the BOCES grant was important. All right. Next, here report on the YTOP results. This is some good stuff, Mr. Fregenzer. Welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. We
have a little bit of an interesting scenario for you. What the information that you have in your binders will be embargoed, but it's something for you to look at because our final numbers will be in by the state soon. But this is to give you a little bit of a taste of where we came by being face to face all year. There are only 2 states in the country that were face to face all year, Wyoming, and I think it's Montana. And we see very varying degrees of learning loss across the country. And anything that you read right now, if it's in an article, education in any way, they're talking about dealing with the learning loss. I think that by taking a glance at what we've done, we need to thank our teachers, our support staff, our administrators so much for the work that they've done, because to see the success that you see there, and these numbers are going to adjust a little bit, but to see that success, so you know what's coming in the next month or so, that is due to the hard work and the dedication of the people that you have hired for this district and the focus that they have on the students that they care for each and every day. We have a couple of areas that we are targeting, and we are planning for our professional development later on this week. And so we will have strong plans in dealing with any areas that we feel that we're subpar, but as you can see, there certainly weren't very many. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I was pleasantly pleased with what I saw.
Yeah.
Very good.
Exciting.
You're right. And you hit the nail on the head.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to being able to share that with the public.
Yes.
Embargoed.
And
That's
our
interesting.
legislators.
Yeah, you send those to the legislature, will you?
May have to hit them on top.
Yeah. All right. Our next item is consider approval of the preliminary budget for 21-22. Chris, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees. You have the preliminary budget here in front of you. And the grand total, it's itemized here by fund, but the grand total, 54,357,653. And I'm just going to do a short recap for you on where we've landed here. So as you know, we are working off of the FY or the 2020 budget bill. That's what we reverted to. And just a quick recap on that 2020 budget bill. There was an external cost adjustment in there that is half of what we received last year. We've talked about that before. So that amount is $246,000. There was the health insurance modification that we experienced last year remains in the funding model this year. And that is where we receive only 50% of the health insurance, of the employer increase on health insurance for model positions of which we do not have employees or are not participating in the school district's health insurance. So that's a holdover from that bill. Regarding special education, a 2018 session law expired, and the reimbursement cap for special education is expired. So we will now go back to the 100% of allowable expenditures for special ed in this upcoming year. You've seen this one before. This is our ADM. We've talked about that before, and we have that loss of 267 students over the last 5 years. But we don't need to talk about that anymore. That 85 is what you're going to see in the next couple of years. Maybe not that high, but that high number will hang around with us for a while. As far as our revenue went, when all was said and done, we ended up with a 3% decrease in revenue of $1.2 million. So we did address our appropriations within the general fund, and we have identified 5% in a cost savings prior to our negotiations process. Part of that was due to the voluntary reduction incentive that was offered and additionally some attritional savings that we've experienced. We have it right now where we will be going down 8 certified staff and 4 support staff, all without any layoffs. It was done through these 2 avenues, a savings of $1.26 million. We also reduced non-salary budget by 10% and moved a bus purchase out of the budget. So for a total savings, 5% of the budget, $2 million. So then coming into the preliminary budget, we basically were able to complete IBN with a fair package, I believe, that's going to fit in the budget, and a total appropriations in the general fund of $40,033,279. Again, appropriations decreased by that overall 3% that we lost in revenue. Going on to special revenue, those appropriations are up this year at 5.5 million, and part of that is our CARES Act 2 grant that's coming in at 2.5 million, which we're currently working on the implementation and what we're going to identify for those funds. Everybody can cheer. Debt service, 0.
Yes.
We will be making the final payment on June 15th.
Pool.
We do. So 1.5 mills will not be on our mill levy this year, which will be saving the taxpayers $1.2 million. And going forward, every year that will be a saving. So that's awesome. Nutrition services, you can see here, we do have a revenue budget of 1.4, almost 5 million, appropriations of almost the same. We are starting the food service, or the food service fund balance is higher this year, and it's due to the federal reimbursement rate that we received this year on all the meals that were served. We were able to, in FY 2022, decrease the subsidy, which we feel is a one-time decrease. Probably it'll depend on what happens with the federal reimbursement rate going forward, but that's a decrease to $75,000, down from $260,000 for this next year. We have been notified that the reimbursement rate will continue for all served meals in 21-22, and they're still working out some details on that, but it's good news there. Our director has found savings in staffing. She's equated the schools on the staffing, and there's some cost savings there. We've also been able to upgrade some very old equipment, and also we're looking at getting a software upgrade going right now. So all is well in food service right now. And thanks to Leah for the job she's done. It's been great. Major maintenance, we budget 100% of our appropriations, 3.8 million. The big job that's up right now is the Lincoln locker room and STEM rooms. That job is about 533,000, and so we're sitting well in the major maintenance fund. For capital projects, $1,022,000. The majority of the funds in this fund are the aquatic center bond funds. The premium account that we have and the maintenance reserve account makes up the majority of that fund. There may be some slight funds coming in from the state on security. And then lastly, the mill levy requests that you'll be seeing and voting on in July, and from Sweetwater BOCES, Region 5 BOCES, and the Recreation Board. And those are the dollars that'll be generated this year based on the assessed valuation, which, as Corinne mentioned, we expect the district's valuation is going to be down 17.5% for 2022. And that's it. Any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Good job, man.
Good job.
Feel lucky. Really do.
Yeah, we
Our
are
district's
lucky.
in good shape.
Very much so.
All right. I need a motion to approve the proposed preliminary budget.
So moved.
Moved by Brenda, second by Robin. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Next, 10.03, consider approval of adding sixth grade to McKinnon School for the 21-22 school year. Mr. Bailey, welcome.
Hey, good evening, Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. So in front of you, you should have some information, a couple different documents, but I'm here tonight to request the opportunity to apply to the state to add sixth grade to McKinnon School. In front of you is a copy of the application that Superintendent Behringer and I worked together on, and that would be what we would be submitting if I'm not incorrect on
The
that.
application's not in front of them because I forgot to put it in front of
Okay.
them. Sorry, Trey. Thanks
Fair.
a lot, Trey.
Yeah, you're welcome. He was there, I promise.
Dr. Foos, take him to the woodshed, please.
How many people took the parent survey?
There wasn't really a survey, actually. It was a number of parents who approached personnel out there or staff out there and just kind of shared with them that they would like to see sixth grade come back. If sixth grade was offered at McKinnon, they would look to keep their children there as opposed to going to Manila to attend school.
Can the parents who still want to go to Manila go to Manila? Are we requiring all of them to be in sixth grade?
I don't know the answer to that question. I would imagine. Well, I don't want to speak for it. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, that's a pretty important piece of the puzzle here for me.
Okay.
I don't know about anybody else.
Okay. So find out if they're required to stay or if they still have the option.
Yeah, I personally think they should have an opt-out. That's
Okay.
just my opinion. We changed this years ago and we had some pushback on it. And we had people who were in favor of it that wanted their sixth grader to go to Manila. So I'd like to know that,
Okay.
I guess, before I vote on this. And when do you got to have this in?
June 30th. So we have time.
So we can do it at the June meeting?
Yep.
I agree with you, Steve.
And that opt-out would be, they could also come to Green River for sixth grade.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
All
How
right.
many sixth grade?
I can get that.
14?
I'm sorry.
How many sixth graders do we presently have?
We would have two. Two that would stay for next year.
And
yes.
I think it's important to maybe talk to the fifth graders and the fourth graders, the ones that are coming up, because, I don't want to do a bouncing ball with this thing, go back and forth.
Chairman Core, the policy that's going to be coming up here in a minute addresses that very question, JECA. You can see it in your board docs. It talks that students in grade 5 or 6 have the option of attending McKinnon School or requesting a transfer with the following exception. At the request of a McKinnon parent and upon mutual consent of the McKinnon administrator and Sweetwater County School District Number 2 Board of Trustees, students exhibiting identified special needs will be allowed to attend Green River Schools or an adjacent school district.
So if they don't have special needs, they have to stay in Green River? Is that what that's telling me?
It does look like that's what the policy is reading.
Okay. I don't know how everybody else feels.
Well, I think if you invest some money, I think choice is great. And I'm kind of with you there, but you also have to look at what kind of money you invest. And does it pay back?
Well, the money we'd send to Manila is reimbursed by the state. We count them as our own kids. Then we reimburse
the
what
same.
we get to Manila. We're going to deal with that here well, I guess we already did.
Yeah.
Gosh darn, I'm just one of those.
Chairman Core,
Yeah.
it is an exception. So students in grade 5 or 6 have the option of attending McKinnon or requesting a transfer to a neighboring school. It's the exception that talks about the special needs.
Okay,
So they
perfect.
have the option.
Okay, perfect. All right. So we're going to approve this before we approve the policy. That'll be interesting.
Don't change it.
Okay, I appreciate it. Any other questions? So I need a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Brenda, second by Rochelle, to approve the allowing of sixth grade at McKinnon School with some opt-outs in it. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you.
Jason,
Thank you,
for
Trey.
clarifying that. Appreciate
You know, I read that policy and I saw that. I just wasn't sure if I was reading it right. Okay, next item, consider approval of the school walk boundaries, bus stops, and hazardous streets. Apparently Shoshone and hitching posts can be hazardous.
Yes.
I had a little wreck this morning.
Not with the bus.
No.
I was like my mom.
Somebody tried to drive into Wolf Stadium.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I was
Yeah.
like, no,
Everybody's okay. I'm not trying to make fun of
Okay.
that, but
I was like, you just totally
Yeah.
derailed my whole
okay, I'm ready
address
for
here.
you. We're ready.
This is the hardest part too. Good evening, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees, and Mr. Core. Okay, that's the hardest part. All right, so there's not a lot of changes for this year. The only stop that I am requesting to change, currently this school year, we stop at Andrews and Jensen to provide the bus stop for the daycare there on Bramwell and Jensen, and it's a logistical nightmare. So I am just wanting to move that stop to Bramwell and Jensen. They're at the corner where the daycare is. That way that they don't have to have an additional staff member drive students the block away or provide a walk. So that's the only change from last year that I'm proposing.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Robin, second by Rochelle to approve the school walk boundaries, safety hazards for 2020, actually it'd be 21-22 school year, right?
Yes.
You threw a curve at me. You put 2021 down there.
But you know.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate it. Next is consider approval of the 21-22 student activities, nutrition services, transportation handbooks. How do we want to handle this? Has there been any changes? Anybody got any changes? Okay, Leah, come up, talk to us. If you have changes, you can come up, speak. If not,
My handbook is, oh, sorry, Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. I had just one change. This came from the HR office. It was just the at-will employee statement stating that this group, which includes district staff support, refers to employees who have the right to end their employment relationship with the district at any time, with or without cause upon 14 days written notice. The district retains the same rights as the employees. However, in other words, the district can end their employment relationship with at-will employees at any time, with or without cause, providing 14 days written notice.
Okay.
That's the only change I have.
I'm assuming that's the same in transportation. Okay. You have other ones? Okay. Come on up. Welcome back.
Hello again. So two changes that we added the statement that the videos on the buses can be used for any disciplinary action, whether it's student or staff. And then we re-identified the definitions of accident and incident and the preceding corrective actions that would happen. Previously, if someone was to fall or get hurt, we reset our safe day calendar and our team safety awareness. We felt like that was a hindrance to people to be honest and letting us know if they were to fall and get hurt. So we took the corrective action out of it and made it more of a learning tool for the team to learn instead of someone being perceived as punished by having an accident. And we re-identified accident and incident with vehicles, district vehicle, our buses essentially, is if we have something that happens on the lot which causes no damage, there is no repercussions other than a retrain and a team learning experience in a safety meeting. But if the district has to pay for an accident, whether it's district property or public property, then that would involve disciplinary action and reset of safe days, and the whole team would feel that pinch a little and have to relearn what we did wrong. So those are the changes that we added.
Okay, my only question would be on the video. Has that been given to our attorneys to make sure it's legal? Okay, thank you. All right, thanks. Anybody else? Administrators?
Thank you.
Unless you want to come up and say hi or something. Everybody good? All right, need a motion to approve the student activities, nutrition services, transportation handbooks for the 21-22 school year.
So moved.
Moved by Robin, second by Brenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next item, consider approval of the revision of policy JHCD, administering medication to students, second reading. And Dr. Foos, it looks like there's been a change.
There has been. Thank you, Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, Trustee Sanders. We were able to work with the nursing group to address the confidentiality concern that you had, and we removed that piece, the requirement to share those records. We did also get approval from Hickey and Evans and the attorneys to make sure that change was okay. So also, I think that we touched base with you on that change. So thank you for your consideration for second reading.
Okay, need a motion, please?
Second.
Moved by Robin, second by Ashley to approve the revision of JHCD. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Mark, for your help on that. Next, approval of the removal of policy JHCD-R, student health record, second reading.
Thank you, Chairman Core. It's important that the patrons know that we are still going to have a form for parents and everybody to use, but we're taking it out of policy so that our nursing group under Dr. Demaray's supervision can make the necessary changes on the fly.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Rochelle, second by Brenda, to approve the removal of policy JHCD-R. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Consider approval of the amendment to policy JECA, transfer of McKinnon students.
Thank you, Chairman Core. An amendment that will go into effect tomorrow upon your approval tonight. We're just adding the sixth grade piece only in there. You can see that in bold. And students do have the option to stay there at McKinnon or transfer to a neighboring district.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Robin, second by David. To, I can't hear anything, I'm sorry. Approve the amendment to policy JECA.
Got it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I thought that
All
was
right,
going to be
thank
a
you.
little easier, Mr. Bailey.
Dr. Foos? All right, Superintendent Board, let's start with you, Craig, so I don't forget you.
Hey, it's all right. You could forget me, but couple weeks ago, Mr. Kalinsky and Mr. Gantz did a performance out at the Expedition Island in the pavilion, and it was incredible. We had a great turnout. They played for 3+ hours, and it was open to the community. They had food vendors. And that is one of those things that in the next couple of years, if they continue to do it, is going to be a big community event. And it really is a great place to showcase some very talented kids. So I just want to thank them. But I also want to thank Mr. Harder. I got to go out today and watch Luke Jensen. I think they got the name right. ESPN analyst. And he did something in the French Open. Won the French Open.
You're gonna believe Beardsley over me on this?
No. But anyway, it's great that, our coaches, teachers are finding people to bring in that are just great, high caliber, and it's just I think it says a lot about our staff trying to always find ways to help kids out. So it was credit to Mr. Harder.
Okay, great. Thanks. Mark.
Thanks for everybody's hard work. And I just wanted to say that, through all the pandemic, the masks, the distancing, each of our personal beliefs in it all, see these kids come up here and get their awards. We've kept the schools open, and these kids have been successful. They're resilient. They find their way through it. And Wyoming being one of the only very few states that has kept their kids in school. Being in the medical field, we know what distance learning is doing to kids. And so it's been a very, very positive thing that we've been able to try to do. Thanks for all the hard work.
All right, thank you, Mark. Ashley.
I wanted to say congratulations to those who were nominated for Teacher of the Year. We have so many great things going on in the district, so there's many more that could be nominated, but congratulations to them. Congratulations to all of the staff, admin, teachers, everybody for this year. We just have just under 2 weeks and we're done and we made it. And so congratulations. Congratulations to our seniors. And thank you to everyone who influenced them throughout their schooling. We have a great district and so many people who go out of their way to just build those kids up. So thank you very much. I think we've done a great job celebrating the seniors and it's been really fun. And good luck to those seniors in their futures.
You made that without even a tear in your eye.
I
I'm
know that's why I talked
impressed.
really fast. It's been a hard week.
Robin, what do you have tonight?
Okay, this is gonna be very personal, and I just wanna thank the school district for all their support with the loss of my husband. It's really meant a lot to me, so thank you.
All right. Thank you, Robin. Rochelle.
I just say congrats to the kids graduating. It's super exciting, and to their families. It's a lot of hard work to get there and a lot of tears shed, but I'm excited for graduation. I can't wait. And I also want to say, it's even since I was in high school, which we won't talk about how long ago that was, but this town has created, we have a lot of very talented people, the arts, the welding, the shop, the cabinetry, people that do the shows that you put on the theater. Like there's a lot of talent in this town that's huge. It's not athletic that you talked about, and it builds good character, it builds well-rounded people. And we do a really good job of building people up and giving them opportunities. It's great to hear when it's hard to get into some of those classes, that your kid as a freshman probably not going to get in. But that's good news that we have kids getting in there and learning and doing all these great things and finding out what they're good at and what they're passionate about and building those skills. So thanks to everyone that helps with that. I know people volunteer for that, and it's not just the staff, but that's what makes our community great. So thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you, Rochelle. Brenda.
Okay, well, it's been a busy month. I had the opportunity to attend the Wyoming School Boards Association meeting over the weekend, and a couple of things that they want to work on is educating our legislators on the good things that are happening in our district. And so we mapped out a plan on how we're going to do that as board members. It's going to require a little bit more than just the quarterly meetings. And so with that, I've asked David to take over my duties as on the Region 5 BOCES, and with everybody's approval, he has agreed to do that. So thank you. A lot of work going in there that we've got to share the good news to get them on our side. Also with the CDC, we've had several changes there. We have voted as a board to do a climate survey or a temperature check on the organization to make sure we're going in the right direction. And, if make changes, if we need to make changes there. And then I also had the opportunity to share about the playground and the collaboration that we have with the city of Green River, not only on the playground, but on our summer activities with swimming lessons and summer day camps and whatnot. And people were just floored that we have such a good working relationship. So I'm very proud of this district and our working relationship with other entities that we can get things done and moving forward. And congratulations to all of our seniors and to all of you guys for making it happen. We're so thankful that we were in session this year. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Brenda. David.
I don't have a whole lot to add. You all summed it up pretty well. I have a daughter that's graduating too, and I won't cry here. I won't not in public.
Not here.
I didn't cry when my daughter graduated. I can't wait. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Beardsley. I believe that as a school district, we didn't have a single activity canceled because of any type of sickness or anything this whole year, right? We had other teams, other groups that may have canceled, but
we made it through every activity, every sporting event to the end. We had to miss, say, a basketball game because American was going cross country. Yes, we started off, and we made it all the way through 8 seasons.
there's probably 5% of the school districts in the nation, probably less than that, that can say that. So thank you for doing what you've done. And I know it's uncomfortable and none of us like wearing those things, but you've made it. And thank you for doing it. I had the chance to attend the honors and recognition banquet, a couple hour long meeting last week, I guess it was, but what everybody has said, there are some talented individuals in this community. And thank you for helping them develop those talents. And we've been able to give them the opportunity to develop those talents this year, which many places haven't done. Even in the state of Wyoming, there's a lot of places that haven't been able to do that. So thank you for doing that.
Here. I just have a couple things here. Tony, wish the soccer and track teams good luck. Regionals this week. State will be next week, so good luck to those student athletes. I did get a chance to go up. I was actually in the high school for, why was I there? Oh, the mayor was speaking to a senior government class, which was interesting. But Sherry Bushman, a councilman, had never been in Green River High School. So I gave her a quick tour of it and took her through there, and we got down to the gym, and I'll be darned if all the industrial arts stuff was in the gymnasium. Holy cow. Talent. It's amazing in this district when it comes to that stuff. That's high quality stuff I saw. That's pretty cool. I did not get a chance to go up there, but I have been told that it was outstanding. The artwork that Stacy Davenport put together from the elementary art students up at the Western Wyoming College. And Stacy, thank you for doing that. Okay, but the fact that you've taken the effort to do that, I do appreciate that. Okay. Well, I'm giving you credit, and you can give credit to other people if you want, but I appreciate it. So, and Charles, thanks for coming tonight. I do appreciate it as a school board member and elected official that you took the time to come up and speak to us and speak from your heart and speak your thoughts. And we all listened. We all took it in. I'm pleased to announce that Green River High School's graduation, there will be no mask requirement at the stadium across the street. There will be some restrictions for Expedition Academy, but those will be more of a, if you would like to wear a mask, you're welcome to do so kind of thing. But Charles, I appreciate you coming. I really do. We have one other item we got to take care of that was not my fault. It was Dr. Foos's fault. We have a contract we need to award. So, Mr. Foos.
Thank you, Chairman Core, Trustees, Superintendent Berenger, Sierra Torres, junior kindergarten teacher at Washington. Thank you for your consideration for an approval for her contract.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Robin, Brenda, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We do not have an executive session. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate it. Got you out of here at 8:20.